So my screen is visible, right? Anyone please confirm?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So have you guys seen week 4 lectures? The class lecture of week 4. So if you guys have any doubt in those lectures or in my tutorial or in lab session, please ask. So any confusion, any doubt, any clarification up to week 4? No doubt?
So
Okay.
can you clear the practice problem?
What?
So can you clear a practice problem doubt?
Practice problem? Yeah, definitely. Tell me.
So it was the problem of circuit.
Okay.
Uh,
So what was the issue in that problem?
Sir, I was not able to understand how we can see that plus and minus are together. What loop to use in that?
Are you asking how to print plus or minus?
No, sir. It was asked in the question if the plus and minus are together in input, then to print it is a short circuit. So I wanted to ask how we can see that the plus and minus are together using if any loops.
So you can have two variable, one to track the previous input and one to track the current input. So if previous is plus, current is minus, or previous is minus, current is plus, then you can say that yes, it is short circuit. So it is an infinite plus minus, right? Is it?
Yeah, actually, in the question it was given the first we have to give the number of the variable symbols in one line. For example,
Okay.
if we give 6, then we can print either plus 6 time, minus 6 time, or plus 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 dot minus minus, something like that. And
Okay. So number of plus or minus is given beforehand. It is not infinite, right?
yes, sir.
So like if 6 is given, then plus and minus can occur at most 6 times.
Yes, sir.
Together. Okay.
And it will
So,
stop the code when the star is printed. And there can be only 4 type of symbol, plus, minus, dot, and star. So
okay,
I wanted.
so the output was something like this. Okay. So the input is, let's say 6. Then you have this plus minus or something like that, and then again plus minus. So the repetition of this plus minus will be 6, right? It will be 6 times. This also will be 6 times, and then similarly other will be 6 times, and then when you encounter this star, you terminate. Is it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So as you can see, you cannot do this using only one loop, right? You need two loop here. First one will iterate over scanf. It will do scanf, and then maybe like this, %C ch. Okay, you will scan, and not scan here. You will check whether ch is equals to not equals to star, right? So you will take input. Now then you have to, let's say you have two variable, previous, wait. Rajvardhan Verma, can you hear me? Joining. Rajvardhan Verma, can you hear me? Rajvardhan? No?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so why you have joined this much late?
I'm
Any
sorry,
reason?
sir.
Okay. So you will track this previous and then current. Let me mark the previous as maybe null. Okay. Now when you do scanf here, so you will scan 6 times because 6 is given. So let's say you have taken input. So you will scanf that thing up to, so you will use this for loop, and inside that you will write this scanf 6 times. So the condition for this for loop will go up to n. You will do scanf. Now in every scanf, so you will do something like this. You will write scanf with this current. Okay. Now you will check if previous is not equals to null, right? As well as previous is not equals to, so you'll write here a condition, something like previous is not equals to plus character, and current should be not equals to minus character, right? So you will give this one condition. Then again you will write as well as for alternate minus and plus. So if you encounter this, you will print, okay, this is short circuit or whatever, or exit or something like that. And then what you will do, you will update the previous with the current. Okay. So with this, then again in next, you will then again do scanf, then something like that. Then again in the this while loop, you will do scanf of next line, right? So until you detect, so you will do scanf with ch until you detect this ch is equals to star, then you break. So have you got the point here?
Sir, if the loop runs against, then the input we have given will be go in CH.
Yes. So
Then
at the end of, so here you have taken, let's say scanf. I'm writing just for like this. So scanf, you have taken number of this plus minus. Okay. Now you have taken this scanf ch. Okay. Now here you will iterate n minus 1 times. Why? Because you have taken number of line, that is 6. Now you have taken the first character, which is plus, or it could be plus, minus, or star. Now if it is star, then you don't enter in the loop. If it is not star, then what you will do? You will take the rest 5 element, that is n minus 1, right? And now this previous would be this ch instead of null. Yeah, tell me the problem here. Be null. So here in this example, the previous I guess I was having some network issue here. So yeah, so this is how you do this practice problem. So have you got the logic flow or the mistake that you might be having in your code? Is it clear now?
Yes.
Yeah. So your doubt was how to scan like two characters, right? How to look into
I
future or
thought that
yeah.
all the input in the one line will be given to the same character. So I was
No,
having
no, no,
doubt.
no. Character is just like one letter, right? One symbol. So one symbol is one character. As I've told you, if you want to take entire character as an input, you need array for that, right? The string array. Might recall the string array, right?
Yes, sir.
So this was it. Now, why nesting is needed? As you can see from the practice problem, nesting is needed sometime. Let's say the input is 4. Now you have to print this pattern, something like this. So if I give input as 4, it will print 4 lines and the pattern would be like this. So in this case, there would be 2 for loop. One would give you the number of lines like this. So you want to go from 0 to 4, and then inside that for loop, you will go first time you will print 1, then you print 1 and 2, then you will print 1 2 3, then you will print 1 2 2 1 2 3 4. So this is why the nesting is needed. Let's say you want to do this matrix multiplication. Array is not covered, but in matrix multiplication also you multiply row with the column. So R into C. So to multiply this, you may need to nest 3 for loop. 2 to get individual. I think 2 for loop would be enough. So even to print the element of the matrix inside 2D array, you need 2 for loop because matrix is defined M of I and J. So in that case, nesting of loop is needed. So that is why nesting is needed. Now, if you guys have read this lecture 4, week 4, all the lectures, so can someone tell me the difference between associativity and precedence of the operator? What is the difference between this associativity and precedence of operators? Anyone? Associative means A B is equals to B A. Precedence is the priority. No, that is not associativity. It is commutative law. A into B is equal to B into A. Atulya. I don't think this is associativity. This is commutative law over this multiplication, right? So you guys are not reading, I guess, right? I meant A, B, C, E, S, true. That is associativeness. Okay. So can you not speak, Atul? Atul Sundaram, can you not speak? I came to library. Okay. So the associativity tells you the the order. Let's say in C there are many operators. So let's say you write something like this: A plus B plus C plus D. Okay. Now you have declared all this thing and you want to assign the result as this. Yeah. Someone is speaking something. We can write A plus B plus C, but in C the operator have a different priority sequence. Okay. So only 2 people have seen this week 4 lecture, I guess then. Okay. So let's say you have initialized the result as A plus B plus C plus D. Okay. Now, what will how the, since you know the plus is binary operator, so it operate on 2 operand only. So what you have to find whether you want to perform this entire expression like this. So first you will calculate A plus B, then you will get something, then you will add with C, then you get something, then you will add with D. Okay. Or there are many combination possible. You can go from right to left as well. So what do I mean by right to left? First you will compute C plus D. Okay. And then you will compute whatever you get from C plus D, you will add with B. Now whatever you get with this addition, you will add with A. Okay. So you can compute like this as well. So when you have same operator, you need some kind of order. That order is defined by associativeness. So in this case, in C there are predefined order of the operator. Nearly all operators are left to right associative. Okay. What do you mean by left to right? So if you write something like this, so first we will go to the left and you will compute the leftmost. And then slowly you move to right. So this is called left to right. Okay. Okay. So this is called left to right associative. Or you can start from right and go slowly to the left. So that is also a possibility. And in that case, it would be called a right to left associative. Okay. So this is called left to right associative. Now, similar to this plus, here you can have any operator. So when you talk about same operator, then in that case, that same operator can occur multiple times in an expression, and you need to have some kind of order, and that order is defined by the associativeness of that operator. So as I said, in C, nearly all operators are left to right associative. Just there are 2-3 operators. So let me define those. One is assignment operator, which is equals. So this one is right to left associative. Right to left associative. So if you write something like result equals to A equals to B equals to 7. So what do I mean by right to left associative? So can someone explain line number 12? What will be the order that this expression will be executed, given that assignment operator is right to left associative? right. So b equals to 7 will be executed first, because I've said that assignment operator is right to left. So first you will go to the rightmost thing and then you will execute that. Then as you have seen that assignment operator return whatever value you assign here. So when you execute this b equals to 7, b will be having the value 7 and the value 7 will be returned. Okay. Now this 7 value will be stored in A. So again, then this will happen. So this will happen at the last. Okay. So this is why this is how this assignment operator works. Now the question is, if I write 6, so why this assignment operator needs to be this right to left associative? Anyone? So everyone is having this joined this meeting from library itself. No one is speaking. So tell me. So don't be like जैसे मतलब कथा नहीं चल रही है. So if you know something, if you have some confusion, so tell me. This is how you will improve yourself, right? So let's say at line number 13, this is the assignment operator. Okay. Now, as I've said that assignment operator is right to left associative. This is the order at which it will execute. Now the question is why this operator is right to left. Okay. Why it cannot have left to right associative? Anyone?
So if we go from left to right, then value of B will be assigned to A. But
right.
But currently there is not any value of B assigned to it. So it will produce an error.
So let's say I've given B equals to 8 and G equals to 9 and A, B, G, or all this variable are defined obviously. So you write int A, B, G, everything is defined. Anyone? Why this cannot be left to right? So we can add new assignment on the right easily. Can't add new assignments on the right easily. What do you mean by easily? Like our flow of writing is left. No. It is not like flow of writing. It is not with the beautification of the comfort. It is strictly necessary kind of thing that this assignment operator needs to be right to left. Ritik, yeah, go ahead.
So because what this operator does, it like takes the value on the right and gives it to left. It can't be the other way around because we can't assign a variable to a number.
Correct.
I guess.
Right. So in the assignment operator, in the first or second lecture, I've told that whatever you do, you cannot write something like this left side of any assignment operator should be a variable. It cannot be a number, a character, or any constant. So this statement will give error. Okay. Now, when you say, okay, let me do it left to right. So what will happen? You will assign, since B is 8, so 8 will be here. Now A will be assigned 8. And since assignment operator return whatever it assigned, so 8 will be returned. Now this entire expression will become something like 8 equals to z equals to 6, which is not how the compiler parses it. So it will produce error then, because this left side should be a variable in case of assignment. So that is why this assignment operator is left to right associative. That assignment is okay. Yeah, go ahead. So Atul, your doubt is clear, I guess. This assignment should be right to left. Then the only thing that changes is that we would use 8 equals to b. Yes, but that does not make any sense. So let's say you want to design a compiler. Okay, 8 equals to b. You want to design a compiler where you want to produce, okay, when someone write 8 equals to b, don't produce any error. So in that case, but what would be the semantic of this? Let's say you don't want to produce any error, but the semantic of this statement would be saying this: the store the value of b to the constant 8. It does not make any sense. Or maybe in future the compilers are like what I can say, it can go left to right as well as right to left. So if you write 8 equals to b, it will store the value of 8 to b, or if I write b equals to 8, it will store the value of 8 to the b. But in mathematics, line number 18 is not valid. Also in C, it is not valid. But in future, it might happen that to provide flexibility, like Python, you don't have to declare anything. Everything is automatic. So it may come, but in C, this is why this assignment operator is not this right to left associative. So if anyone is having doubt here or confusion or having some other viewpoint, let me know. That no, this should be left to right. Anyone? No? Okay. Now coming to this precedence. So precedence is needed in a case where I write something like this. So precedence. Let's say I've written A into B plus C. Now, since you have multiple operator here, you will use precedence here, precedence rule. So precedence rule tells you that in arithmetic operator, this star, divide, and modulo is having greater priority or precedence than plus or minus. And this star, divide, and modulo all are equal precedence. So all are having equal precedence. And this plus and minus is also having equal precedence. Okay. So with the rule of precedence, so why this precedence and this associative rule is needed? Because in compiler you want to do things in a deterministic way. So you don't want to compute. Let's say you have run your program, and first time it compute left to right. Next time it give you the output from right to left. Okay. So don't want something like this. You want deterministic behavior. So how many times? So it does not matter how many times you are running your program. The output should be exactly deterministic. It should not be fluctuating. So keeping that thing into consideration, this associative and precedence rule is used. So when you have same operator, this rule of associativity comes into picture. When you have different, so this precedence will come. So it is telling that this star, divide, and modulo is having a higher precedence than plus and minus. So what will happen? This will be calculated first, and then whatever will be the result of A into B, it will be added with the C. So this is how you can view it. So you can write it with the parenthesis, or if you avoid the parenthesis, the same thing will happen. A into B will be calculated first, and then C will be added. But as you have seen, like by putting parenthesis, you can force the precedence of any operator. So what do I mean by that? If I write something like this, what will happen? It cannot do A into B first. Why? Because I've written this parenthesis block here. After teaching precedence, is it possible that you can teach switch once more like the concept? That's slightly okay. So I've written this, I've added this parenthesis. Now this parenthesis, so what will be the precedence of this parenthesis? Will it be less than this, or will it be greater than this arithmetic or any operator? So what will be the precedence of, since parenthesis is also a kind of operator, so what will the precedence here? What should be the precedence? It should be greater than or operator, less than or operator, or what? Greater, right? So parenthesis is having like highest precedence, kind of highest. There are one or two operator, but yeah, parenthesis is having highest precedence. So why highest? Because I want to compute B plus C first. So it will happen only if parenthesis is having highest precedence. Otherwise, if parenthesis is lower than this arithmetic operator, what will happen? A into B will be computed first. But this is not why you have added parenthesis. You have added parenthesis to calculate B plus C first. So in that case, this parenthesis should be having higher precedence than any operator. Okay. So what about precedence amount? It is all same. This star, divide, percentile, modulo, all are having same precedence. Now, in week 4 lecture, there is a table which is showing the associativeness of all the operator as well as the precedence. Please have a look. So before coming to this tutorial session, please watch the lectures. Otherwise, it will not be useful. Okay. And now, there is this logical AND. Logical AND. It is a logical operator, which is something like this. What it will do? It is a kind of binary. So if you write something like if expression 1 as well as expression 2. So what it will check? If expression 1 is true and expression 2 both are true simultaneously, then it will go into if block and execute whatever you have written inside that if block. Okay. So what? So it will compute. So the point is, it will compute expression 2 only when expression 1 is true. If expression 1 is false, then it will not compute expression 2. So the question is why? Why it does that? So logical AND is saying that I will compute expression 2. I will evaluate expression 2 only when expression 1 is evaluated to be true. But I will not evaluate expression 2 if expression 1 is evaluated to be false. Why is so? There is no need, because it doesn't matter expression 2 is correct. Right. Right. So in case of logical AND, as you can refer to the lecture, logical AND is kind of if one of the operand of logical AND is false, then entire expression become false. So if expression 1 is false, if it is evaluated to be false, there is a no meaning of evaluating the expression 2, because just expression 1 being false will make this entire expression become false. This entire condition become false because one of the expression is false. So why to waste CPU cycle or the time to compute expression 2? This expression 2 can be complicated, can be very complicated. It could be some function calling. It could have anything. So why to waste time to compute expression 2 if you know that expression 1 is false? So that is the smart way, that if expression 1 is false, just don't compute expression 2. The condition become false. Okay. So that is why this logical AND is kind of reducing the time in case expression 1 is false. So that is about a logical AND. Now in operator class, logical OR, if first expression, right? Similar goes for logical OR. That's correct. So in case of logical OR, if one of the expression is true, then you can, let's say you are having expression 1 or expression 2 or expression 3. So you don't have to calculate expression 2 or expression 3. Okay. So it will not compute that. So let's say you want to check whether whatever I'm telling, that if expression 1 is false, then expression 2 is not calculated or not evaluated or not executed. So let's say you want to check this, check whether this this sentence, whatever I'm saying, is correct or not using C program. So you will write a code to verify whatever I'm saying. So how you will do it? How you will verify this? So what to verify? You have to verify whether what I'm saying, that if expression 1 is true, then expression 2 will be evaluated. If expression 1 is false, then it will not be evaluated. So how to verify it? By writing a C program. Right, simple assignment. So you write something like this. If 0 as well as a equals to 6, as you know that a equals to 6 will return 6. So let's say a is a variable, and initially let's say a is having value 9. Now if this a, since this is 0, so expression 1 is false. Now a equals to 6 will not be executed because expression 1 is false. So how to check it? Just print the value of a after this 26. So similarly, you can verify whether expression 1 is, if you allocate expression 1, if you make the expression 1 as true, then whether the value of a is 6 or 9, you can verify it. Okay. So this is how you can verify. And similarly, you can verify for logical or as well. So yes, now there was a discussion on that. Let's say I want to check whether the value of some integer a is less than, let's say you define int a. Now you want to check whether the value of a is something like this, and if it is ranging from 1 to 5, you want to print this, okay, and then you will increment a, and int a is 0. Okay. Now, how many times this s will be printed?
0. It won't be
0
printed even once because a starts out as 0. And
Okay.
here
Let me start with 1. And let's say this is the case.
now also it will print 0 times only, sir.
A is greater than 1. Greater than 1. Let me assign it as 2. Yeah.
4 times. So
It is
3 times,
allowed.
3 times, 3 times.
It is allowed. It is allowed because of this associativity. It is a kind of operator, so it is associative also. Okay. So it is left to right associative. So first, what will happen? First, you will compute this. Okay. Now, what it will return? It will say the value of a is 2. Now, 1 is greater than 2. What it will return? Anyone? Anyone? This 1 is, yes, it will return 1 because it is true. So true is treated as 1. Now 1 is returned here. Irrespective of the value of a, always 1 will be returned, right? Because you are not decrementing the value of a. So we started the value of a with 2. Now the first time a is, so this expression is returning 1. Next time the value of a will be incremented. So value of a become 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever, but it will be always greater than 1 because you are not decrementing the value of a anyway. So this 1 is less than a, it will always return 1. Okay. So what will happen? The condition become like this. So 1 is always less than 5. So it will become infinite loop. Have you got the point here? So don't do anything just like that. Just try to find the operator. If you have multiple operator of same type, you should apply this rule of associativeness. So since it is a left to right associative, this will happen first. Since it is true, 1 will be returned. If it is false, 0 would be returned. But since it is true, 1 will be returned. And 1 is always less than 5, irrespective of the value of a, given that you are not decrementing the value of a. Okay. So this entire thing become 1. And in that case, it will be infinite loop. Because this 1 less than 5 will be always true. Right? And that is why I've told that someone asked in lecture 1 or 2 that, let's say in mathematics, we do something like this. We can write something like this. But to write equivalent of this mathematics in C, you have to use this logical operator. Now this will work. So if you replace this 1 less than a less than 5 with this statement, this entire statement that I've written here, now it will work nicely. Now it will print 3 times. So that is why I've told that if you want the equivalent part of this mathematical expression, you have to write like this. If you write like this, then it is not equivalent. Okay. So any confusion here? Any doubt? Anything up to here? Anyone?
No, sir.
Okay.
So could you please teach that switch part once again?
Switch.
So that's, yes, as I
Yes.
requested in the chat.
Definitely. So let me then go into this switch part. This is the switch, right? Previously we have seen it. So in case of switch, we write here a variable which could be integer, float, character, and then we write cases like this. So the value 1 will be, so variable, so the value of variable will be matching with whatever value we write here. So if it is matching with that value, this line number 14 will be executed. And since I've written break, so it will come out of switch. If I have not written break, what will happen? It will not match the variable with value 2. It will blindly do this line number 17. So what do we mean by that? Say you've written this switch case. Now you have removed this break. Okay. And you have added Sprintf. Then you have added this 1. Okay. And 3. Let's say 3. So what will happen after executing it? It will return, it will print this 1, 2, and 3. Okay. So this will be the output 1, 2, and 3. So if number is 1, then this will be the output. If number is 2, then since it will not match, so it will just match for the first time. Okay. So if for the first time it is matching with some case, it will go inside that case. And if that matching is done, then if you have not written break, it will go inside every case. So if
So what is it? So how is it? How its application is used? Like basically, if you switch number, like number case 1, as in it will take, as in it will take the value 1. What will happen there?
yeah, so this is the integer. So this value is 1. This one value, this number is integer. Now this number is compared with 1. So you will write if number is equals to 1 here. And then you write printf. Let me explain. So since you have not added break here, so what will happen if number is 1? This 1, 2, 3 will be printed. If number is not 1, let's say number is 2, and 2 and 3 will be printed. If number is other than this 1 or 2, then 3 will be printed. But if you write something like this, okay. So in this case, if number is 1, then 1 will be printed. And since you have written break, so it will come out of this switch block. And that is why I've written this kind of a skeleton of switch, something like this. So you write variable, case, value, and then break. Break is very necessary here. Otherwise, it will break your logic. Yeah.
So in the second one, since you've written, like for example, if there's some number, and if for example that number is equal to 1, and it encounters the break, it will come out, right?
Yeah.
So then this is more or less, if you add breaks here, this is like an equivalent version of a if else if type statement.
Right. Exactly. If you add break here, it is exactly similar to if else if else if, and then else, something like this. So that default will become to else. So it will be similar to that. But it is like sometimes it is more nicer than if else if. Okay. So let's say you have maybe 50 cases. In those things, the 50 times you write else if, it does not look nice, but this case and switch thing look more nicer, more presentable, more readable than if else if 50 times.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. And that is why the switch is invented. Kind of added to see. So any question so far? Default case is no, it is optional. So if you write default, you are saying that if it is not matching with any value, then come to default. If you have not written this default, then it will just match with the cases that you've written. It is not necessary to write default case. So you can simply remove this default if you want. So it's like you are having if, else if, and then you are not having else at the end, right? So it will make sense. You don't want to add else, or you can add else at the end of this chain of else if. So both things are fine.
So default is not necessary.
Yeah, default is not necessary. But I mean, in real scenario, you cannot encounter anything with the switch, having switch and not having default. Because let's say you want to check whether a user has given correct input or not. So you compare with the cases, but you want to kind of show some message to user that please enter the input ranging from here to here. So that will come in the default, not in any case. Or let's say you are running something and you want to capture the bug. Let's say if you accidentally modify some variable, so you've written the cases of that variable. But if that variable is not falling in the case, then there must be a bug in your program or the logical error in your program. So in real scenario, this default is like very, very necessary. But in C, you can skip it. Even in C, you can do many things, but in reality, it is not like that. So let's say you can have A equals to B equals to H equals to 9, right? You can write like this, but in reality, no one write like this in quotes. Or you can write entire your code without any indentation. That will work, but in real application, it will not be good, or it is strictly necessary to follow the the standard this indentation style and all this thing. Okay. So any doubt? So let me ask something. So how many of you have joined from the library? Please raise your hand.